30 years ago, the Disney Company built a town near Orlando. That town became Celebration, Florida. Today, people not only live here, but 2026 may be its most important year yet. If you own here now, or you've been thinking about buying here, this is a critical make-or-break moment for this year, because changes inside the community are going on right now, as well as major announcements that are happening in the town. Homeownership began in 1996, making this year its 20-year anniversary. The town is not owned by Disney anymore. It's actually in an unincorporated part of Osceola County. Zip code 34747. The community is made up of 11 distinct neighborhoods, each with its own character. From the postcard charm of the walkable Main Village to the more approachable South Village, all the way to the affluent contemporary Spring Lake. Celebration was designed from the beginning to create genuine neighborhood life. The result? Low crime, high trust, and a cohesive sense of community. Developed when walkability was in vogue, Celebration features over 40 pocket parks, 26 miles of trails, and a public golf course that offers a resident discount. This isn't a vacation attraction, it's a real town. Your neighbors will be executives, medical professionals from nearby Advent Health Celebration Hospital, small business owners, remote workers, and families with young children. In other words, they're not here by accident. It's a community of intentional residents, with architecture, the events, the shared values. You're surrounded by people who chose the same lifestyle you did. Now, what about those events? You can't mention life in Celebration without mentioning the snow. From the beginning, Celebration kicked off a Christmas-time tradition of pumping gallons of artificial snow over Market Street, the main downtown area. Now, Main Village Celebration is the only place in the region that actually has a white Christmas. And you don't even need a coat. Families travel from all over Florida to experience this atmosphere at Christmas time. It's a core component of the magic that made Celebration what it is today. Celebration also hosts an exotic car festival in April, a marathon and a half marathon as well. Down-home touches include father-daughter dances, murder mystery theater productions, and a town-wide porch sale that draws thousands of shoppers. Weekly institutions here include the Sundays Farmers Market, the Food Truck Fridays, or live music at Lakeside Park. Info about the schools? The public schools here are great. There's a K-8 school in the Main Village. There's a K-5 school on the newly opened Island Village. And Celebration High School has an international baccalaureate program, which is not that easy to get in Florida. You also have strong private options. Creation Village World School, a Montessori school, but it's the details that bring the daily routine of Celebration to life. First, the golf carts. This is a golf cart-friendly community, and residents drive them here daily. There's parking for them literally everywhere. They're a fixture of daily life. And speaking of daily life, it got a major upgrade with the recent revitalization of Celebration Point. Just a few years ago, it was a retail desert. Residents had to leave the bubble for their necessities. Today, Celebration has 2 Publix grocery stores, a Walgreens, Pilates studio, a craft brewery, Jeff's Bagels, and there's one hotel here, formerly the Bohemian Hotel, recently rebranded as the Inn at Celebration Autograph Collection. From the frontage to the interior, it's got that fantastic old Florida vibe, along with a great restaurant and bar.
Finally, the wildlife. Celebration was built on a wild swampland, and the animals don't go anywhere just because they got human neighbors. Families often make a game of counting the deer on their evening walks. Of course, there's also alligators, wild boar, and the occasional bear. Celebration residents take the wildlife as a point of pride. It adds magic and wonder to this suburban postcard lifestyle. The real estate market in Celebration, Florida. So, if you're thinking about buying in Celebration, you will want to know what the market is doing and where it might be heading. The most recent data on 300 of the most recently sold transactions in Central Florida. The median condo price, however, was $385,000, making Celebration a solid mid-tier option for investors.
43 townhomes were in the dataset with a median price of $612,000. Single-family homes formed the heart of the Celebration housing market with a median sold price of $900,000. In other words, more single-family homes are under $1 million rather than over. The top sale in the dataset closed at $2.9 million, proving that this community does transact at a true luxury level. The prestige really starts to reveal itself when you break it down to price per square foot. $343 per square foot is average. That's a meaningful premium over the surrounding CMI marketplace. Now, what about the health of the market overall? Transactions here close at an average of 97% of the asking price. It's a healthy sign, but they're not selling overnight. The average time from listing to contract is 41 days. Overall, this is a very balanced market with a slight tilt towards seller advantage. And there's a fleeting opportunity for new builds. Phase 1 and 2 of Island Village are selling right now with townhomes listed from the mid-$500,000 to the $600,000 and single-family from the mid-$700,000 upward to $1.4 million. There's a lot more to be said about Island Village because it has everything to do with the future of the Celebration housing market. Celebration Development Update. There's more going on than people realize, and it's going to fundamentally change how this area looks, feels, and behaves. First, Ovation Orlando. In December 2025, developer Accesso bought the site and resort began in January 2026. Ovation, a $1 billion, 170,000 square foot entertainment center on par with Disney Springs or City Walk, set to open in 2027. We're talking about live venues, restaurants, 3 hotels, dining divided into 5 distinct zones. One zone will literally be called the Celebration. Then there's Magnifica. Magnifica will have over $1 billion in ultra-luxury housing development. One of the most ambitious projects going in the entire county, homes up to 14,000 square ft on 5 acres with $10 million price points, a 72-acre resort, a championship golf course, a 70,000 ft health spa, new restaurants, and a helipad for resident use. Magnifica isn't in Celebration, but Celebration sits at the gateway of what will soon become a major luxury corridor for the entire region. More about the Island Village, which is in Celebration. This is the final development. When over 400 homes finish in Phase 3 and 4, these will be the last homes built here ever. The border of the designated census area is fixed. There's only so much buildable land, and this is it. Once Island Village is done, the Celebration housing supply is fixed for good. Scarcity is an amazing thing, isn't it? In a market where something new is being built everywhere, this is something that is genuinely rare. Now, beyond Village, the Community Welcome Center is undergoing a full renovation to be completed in August. And the HOA is celebrating its 30-year anniversary by reviewing its commitment to its own infrastructure. And downtown CMI, adjacent to Celebration to the east, is getting a $16.4 million walkability overhaul starting in August, including a new luxury waterfront hotel. Should you live in Celebration? So, if we're at a make-or-break moment for moving to Celebration, let's get real and consider, who is this for, who should live here, and maybe who should consider buying elsewhere. Well, Celebration is the ideal market for the Disney-adjacent buyer. Affluent buyers? Yes, but also middle-tier buyers. It's also an excellent choice for young families. The public schools and the private school options are excellent. The community is walkable and considered safe, and there are tons of kid-friendly events year-round. From the architecture to the wildlife, Celebration is a magical place to grow up. Remote workers and small business owners do well here too. It's centrally located, not too far from Lake Nona, the airport, Winter Garden, or downtown Orlando. And there's a surprising amount of reasonably priced office space here as well. Celebration is also excellent for a second home. The property holds its value, especially with the development coming to a permanent end, and the community looks great year-round, whether you're there or not. And if nothing else, Celebration is for the buyer who just wants something special. There's a real sense of place here. You won't come close to the level of intentionality of the neighborhood here anywhere else in Central Florida. The architecture, the trails, the events, Celebration didn't just have a plan, they put in place the structure and the governance to make that plan a reality. As a result, they've achieved the level of identity and pride and resilience that most communities never achieve. The development happening in and around it, Ovation to the north, Magnifica to the south, and the final phase of housing with Island Village, the center of gravity for a corridor that's being transformed on every side. The question is, when Island Village is complete and the last new home is gone, will you wish you had acted sooner?
Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before. No, I get a good feeling, yeah. Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling.